Lefiya, it's still moving forward. Except for days when Bet is busy or training alone, she trains with him every day. Under his constant pleading, she managed to follow him to explore the dungeon once, but the Amazon Lena appeared out of nowhere. My new rival has appeared from an unexpected place. This kind of place, there's even an ambush. Speaking of which, the hairstyle and clothes have changed, so I really want to capture Bet Loga. I won't hand over my mail to you told her aggressively. She sat back, startled. Then Lena was kicked away. Lena let out a groan and looked a little happy. Reflecting on her rash behavior, she apologized frankly, I'm sorry for interrupting your time, but Beth gave her a serious spanking. That hurts. When she wasn't training with Bet, she was immersed in magical training. Lefiya eagerly asked her own teacher Riveria for advice, and every time Riveria closed her eyes as if she resisted the urge to sigh, saying, "You need to rest now, too much use of mental power, with LV, for skill, you can push yourself, but don't trust too much, asking to stop training." Of course, what must be taught will be taught. Riveria's teachings, based on her own experience, are unquestionably sound words. It's just that she was so strict in the past, but the current education policy is not positive at all, which makes Lefiya a little lost. Lefiya desperately said that she didn't force herself and even took the diary she wrote every day to prove that she was really resting when she was supposed to. For Lefiya, it may be the first time she has resisted the royal family, Riveria. Seeing Lefiya like this, Riveria sincerely said, "Lefiya, you are you. No one can become you, and likewise, you cannot become anyone else." Lefiya didn't understand what she meant. She is her own teacher and the royal family, and instructions from her cannot be ignored. Lefiya gave up on the original idea, increased the rest time and also proportionally increased the intensity of the exercise. Riveria let out a long breath. The days passed. She spent a dense time, as if the man-made dungeon battle was a long time ago. At this moment, the Labyrinth City ushered in the Too Great Festival season. To avoid the Festival of Elegy, Lefiya planned a small expedition and entered the dungeon. She said goodbye to the irreplaceable, pretty ugly girl. Maybe it's because I don't want to stop, so I subconsciously avoid being immersed in sentimentality. She wanted to go alone, but in the end, the female members led by Alfie and Alicia followed her. I feel a little sorry for them. Taking away your yearly opportunity to grieve. Just when she was feeling regretful, Alfie said with a smile, "Next time, treat me to buttery grape-flavored potato fritters." Alicia also said, "If there's anything you can't discuss with Ms. Riveria, please come talk to me anytime." Leaning beside her, Lefiya felt even more guilty. "Lefiya, you can mess up all you want. If you really want to make a mistake, we'll correct you. After all, families are like that." Alicia said so too. Lefiya, eyes wide open, sat beside her and silently leaned on her shoulder. "I don't even know why I did it." The compatriot she looked up to as an older sister gently stroked Lefiya's short hair. The Festival of the Goddess has a similar sentiment. Although it was at least a day off, but after that, he diligently began the actual combat training called the Dungeon Expedition. So, without knowing it, Hestia Familia decided to hold a war game again. And it is still with Freya Familia. In the end, Bel Cranel and his teammates won, but Lefiya had no idea. That is all. No, it's really a lie. What is the situation? No, I didn't lose to him, okay? Although I didn't lose to him, let's go to the dungeon a few more times. LV 5. She ignited the confrontation mentality like that, and increased the number and intensity of exercise. Just at this point, A's and the others who blessed the boy's victory also have a grudge against Belle. Lefiya has a feeling. Her attitude towards rivals has also changed from a bright red flame to a deep blue flame that burns silently but with a higher temperature. Lefiya held back and never allowed negligent behavior. As the days passed, she realized that she was getting closer to her goal. By working out with Bet, she felt a little closer to her imaginary self. And once she achieves that imagination, Lefiya will update her target. The attack and counterattack elements were also added to the parallel chant, which only focused on defense and evasion. She began resolutely aiming at Bet, causing the short sword to sweep past. Though he scoffed and said 100 years before, she was defeated numerous times. Even so, she still had to try and master the parallel corner that combined attack, defense, movement, and evasion. Lefiya is gradually changing from magic swordsman who prefers magic to magic swordsman who prefers sword. There is a huge difference between the power of magic and the skill of hand-to-hand combat. This body belongs to the magic race. As long as you diligently carry out daily tasks, even if you do nothing, the quality of magic power will increase by itself. So that's fine, that's right, Lefiya thought. It must be like this to protect yourself and save others. She has lost some weight. Then she started to pay attention to her diet. The result was even more. So she took the initiative to start eating meat, which her race didn't like very much. Then her breasts got bigger. It's intriguing. She knew that A's and the others were worried about themselves. Compared to before, now I have less contact with them. She didn't mean to alienate them, and they ate together, but the number of times she acted like a baby with A's and the others has decreased. In other words, these past behaviors should be called addiction. In short, Lefiya has decided that now is the time to break out of the nest. However, A's and the others don't seem to think so. Lefiya, have you been working a lot lately? A's decided and spoke to her like this, but I don't think Ms. A's can't tell anyone else. The other party responded like this. A's froze there with a very shocked expression. After all, didn't you wake up early in the morning to brandish your sword? Tiona and Tioni also nodded non-stop. This made A's even more depressed. Looking a bit bully, Lefiya reflected on herself while she was still working hard. So 2 months have passed since we said goodbye to our friends. It is the season when you can gradually feel the arrival of winter. It was also around this time that Loki called her. I will be the recruiter of the school district family. Lefiya's eyes widened when she was called to the guild hall office. Finn, Riveria and Gareth were also here, and Loki in front of her said, "That's right," and smiled. Lefiya is a graduate of the school district. You are best suited to snatch exceptional students from that super smug educational institution. After all, you know the other side and we do. That's true, but in just 3 days, the school district, known as a mobile teaching institution, will return to the Labyrinth City of Oractory. The return of the school district also means that the time has come for the various families to target students with bright futures. Oractory calls this period family recruitment. The school district side will also provide assistance, allowing representatives from each family to make faction presentations for publicity. From the Oractory side, excellent talents can be obtained, and from the school district side, it can also show students many outlets. This win-win activity has continued since the establishment of the school district, or the reason for the establishment of the school district itself is against the background of the concentration of talents from all over the world in Labyrinth City. Among them, the family, invited by the school district, can choose a member of the group for a long business trip, that is, send a family recruiter. This allows for deeper communication with students and wider publicity for your faction's activities. Generally speaking, this is because the school district has said that there are many students who want to join your family. So these big factions can take advantage of this system. Obviously, the number of students who want to join the biggest faction in the city, Loki Familia, is naturally one of the best. Royman and the others have been encouraging us all along. Shouting, even if it's to introduce talented students from the school district to Orario, and so on. Orario's combat power will also increase. The increase in excellent talents, especially the increase in senior adventurer candidates, is exactly what was expected. It is true that the students of the school district are excellent. Lefiya was very confused. In Loki Familia, the first student recruited from that school district is Lefiya. As a top-ranked student of that generation, Lefiya earned the recommendation spot, joined the city's biggest faction, which was rated 800 times higher than the competition, and was even hailed as a feat since the creation of the school district.